This week's episode is brought to you by the Communicore Weekly web store, now featuring a brand new shirt that all cadets will enjoy. What kind of shirt? Maybe it's a ghost whistle. Ooh! Seriously, it's a ghost whistle shirt, designed by the amazingly talented Jeffrey Delgado. So visit CommunicoreWeekly.com, click on the store tab, and get yours today.
Communicore Weekly, wanna get geeky, bob around boats, and five-legged goats. Communicore Weekly, you might get some freaky. Waited all week, I'm sure you already know this. Greatest online show. Welcome to Season 3.
Hello, and welcome to Communicore Weekly, the greatest online show and home of the world's first pair of independently born identical twins. I'm George.
And I'm Jeff, and I just had a fun-filled weekend at Disneyland. It was great. How come you weren't there, George?
Because it's how many thousands of miles away?
It's only 3,000, George. It could have been 5,000.
That's true. Like if you had been like at Disneyland Paris or something?
Let's do that next.
That's still probably another 3,000 miles just for me.
Well, for you, it's 3,000 probably.
Yeah, well, you did a little, it wasn't cross-dressing,
It's called cosplay.
You cosplay, yeah.
And there's pictures of it on the Communicore Weekly Facebook page of me and Keith dressed up as Jose and Panchito from the Tres Caballeros because it tied into our presentation, and it was great.
And did you guys actually do a song and dance?
I actually came out to a song from Saludos Amigos where I was playing my umbrella as a flute like he does in the film, and it got a good laugh. So
of course it did.
If you were there,
a grown man dressed up like a I want to say
anamorphic parrot is what I was.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay,
a humanized parrot.
Humanized.
I even had the tail feathers on the back of my yellow coat, so
nice.
It was pretty great. But so if you were there, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you weren't there, like George, womp womp.
It's time for Disney History.
George recently wrote an article about Epcot and the future, and I think it kind of warranted a discussion on the show because the article itself was really great and it brought up a lot of interesting points. And it basically looked at the early beginnings of the park and what it evolved into, along with where it should go in the future, especially because of the current state it's in.
That's true. So, where is Epcot Center? Was the oft-heard rally or cry in the early 1970s around Walt Disney World. Guests, the media especially, and of course government officials, and even cast members were constantly asking about the city of tomorrow. You know, Walt's dream of a futuristic city was more than enough to sell the Florida governments on giving Walt Disney Productions an almost unheard of amount of freedom for their development of Epcot Center and Walt Disney World. So expectations were extremely high for what was going to be built in Florida. And even though there was constant and consistent innovation through new technologies, they were often behind the scenes, you know, and just weren't quite as glamorous as a futuristic city.
You know, there was a January 26, 1974 Eyes and Ears where Card Walker was asked, the long-term question most often asked is about Epcot. Is any work being done on it yet? Then Card actually responded by saying, let's put it this way. We've never really stopped working on Epcot. Many of the things we've done already are part of the Epcot plan. Our sewer, power, AVAC, underground utilities, and transportation, our tree farm experiments, and many other things. They're all part of the ideas behind Epcot. Also, for the last 3 months, our creative team at WED has been working on designs, and we're now planning on combining key people from each of the companies we're now involved with, the participants we're meeting with this week, and the best minds of the academic world. We're going to aggressively pursue this project.
Yeah. So once you actually start to delve into the history of Walt Disney World, you'll find the beginnings of Epcot Center, you know, throughout the park. And we're not talking about Walt's experimental prototype community of tomorrow, but the cutting-edge technology that would be the basis for Epcot Center. In the first few years of the Magic Kingdom and the resort itself, you'd be hard-pressed not to find technical advancements everywhere.
Early books, magazines, and internal publications, they really focused on the technological changes that Disney was ushering in to create, maintain, and to expand the vacation kingdom of the world at the time. There was solar power, fiber optic communications, including the first 911 system in Florida, water reclamation, and more. And Card Walker and Don Tatum spent a lot of 1975 and 1976 trying to get people to see that Epcot Center was already being implemented at the vacation kingdom of the world. Now, there were solar panels on the roof of the Reedy Creek Utilities Company, and in 1975, the Traffic Operator Traffic System, or TOPS, was installed. TOPS actually assisted telephone operators with routing calls, and it was the first installation of its kind in the continental United States, and it showed the origin of the call and the billing address where it came from, and it allowed more than 90 countries to be dialed directly, so it was pretty innovative stuff for the time.
Yeah, there was a lot of innovation going on, and to further this point, in 1975, Card Walker said, "Before we go any further, let's explain very basically and briefly the current plan for Epcot. All 43 square miles of our property is, in many ways, actually becoming part of Epcot already." Okay, and they were, without a doubt. But things have changed. Walt Disney World, and in particular Epcot Center, used to be known for taking advantage of and implementing forward-thinking technology, and not just the additions of magic bands or Frozen-themed merchandise. Basically, it seems like any technological breakthroughs now are being directed by the company's desire to extend vacations and get more money from the guests. You know, I get that. I understand it. I just really want Future World to become a showcase for technology like it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and like it was for a very, very long time. So there's this podcast that the two of us listen to. It's called Tech Stuff, and they often refer to Epcot Center in regards to the latest and greatest technologies of the early 1980s. And the hosts, Jonathan and Lauren, they mention the World Key kiosk and even the touring on the Segways when they refer to the cutting edge technology. And one of their shows was called Solar Freakin' Roadways, and it actually discussed using solar panels as our actual highways. And it's a weird concept to think about driving on top of solar panels, but the host discussed a lot of the pros and cons of it. And listening to the show, it kind of made us realize that this is exactly the type of forward-thinking technology that we need to see at Epcot these days, and not only Epcot, but throughout the entire Walt Disney World property.
Yeah. So besides being able to power a lot of the resorts, the solar road panels would also have LED, or light emitting diode technology, to change the direction of the roads and help direct people. Obviously, it would help you with parking, because they could change the color of the road and you could be like, oh, I parked in purple, or I parked in this part of the lot.
I'm colorblind.
Great. This is the anti-Jeff Heimbuch system. And you could also, once the technology gets there, they could direct individual people to their appropriate place based on their magic band. Oh, you've got 15 minutes for your Frozen meet and greet. Head this way. But seriously, the roadway itself could be changed to redirect the traffic flow, assist guests with exiting the parking lots, and delineate specific areas for parking. I mean, imagine being able to follow a brightly colored line or arrow to get back to your parking space.
You know, that kind of reminds me of that commercial. I think it was the insurance company with the arrow that was, turning somebody's life out. Kind of cool. I mean, it's that kind of thing. Granted, that was fake and all digitally done, but it's the same type of idea. In 1975, Card Walker said, "Time and again, these important and distinguished people said that only Disney seems to have two vital prerequisites: the credibility with the public and an ability to communicate issues such as the energy crisis. In fact, these people told us that this energy story cannot wait, that it is absolutely vital to the general public to understand the complete energy story as soon as possible." So even back then, they had energy on their mind, especially when it came to new energy sources and how to convey that information to the public. And it feeds right into the solar panel roadways of today.
Yeah, so it's been argued that the solar panel roadway is just way too expensive. But what about, just using the panels throughout the resort? Walkways at downtown Disney, or, pathways in Future World. Talk about a great way to refresh various areas of Tomorrowland. And you could also run the solar panels alongside of, or off the side of the monorail beamway itself. to appease the bean counters, you could always use the embedded LEDs to help market and promote the latest film.
Man, when Tron 3 comes out, that would be great, right? That'd be
No
awesome.
kidding.
So it comes down to the fact that Epcot and, Walt Disney World Resort as a whole are no longer really investigated and implementing technologies in order to create a better world. We did face a severe resource crisis during the 70s, and that influenced how Disney was able to get Epcot Center built. And, major companies were willing to help support Walt's dream that was supposed to end the problems of our big major cities. And granted, we do understand that the world has changed and that people want more entertainment than education. And also, we also face this gigantic fiscal crisis now, but instead of these energy crises of the past. And people change, and Disney has to keep up to continue to get people to continue spending their money at the resort. Hence, you can trace this evolution of, the ADR, the dining reservations, the Fast Pass, Magic Bands, and My Magic Plus.
Yeah, so personally, I'd like to see Disney get back to adding more cutting-edge tech to their parks and partnering with initiatives like the solar roadways. It is the type of forward thinking and the great uses of new technology that we need to see in Epcot because it's sorely, sorely missing. Epcot Center from the 80s up until the early 90s inspired an entire generation of kids for the future, including ourselves, basically. Lots of people we know do what they do today because of Epcot Center, and we'd love to see future technology showcased there again.
And, not just terrible rides, like Soarin'. I hate that ride. I hate it.
They could put LED panels and say, Jeff, don't go here.
That's fine. Direct
You're
me
not
away
gonna
from
like
Soarin'.
this.
Direct everyone
Okay,
away.
so we'd love to ask you guys, what new technologies would you like to see Disney look into for the Florida property? So take a few moments or wait to the end of the show and then give us a call. Or pause it and call us. But you can call us on the GOAT line at 424-785-4628. That's 424-785-GOAT. And tell us what technologies you want to see in Florida.
He's a nerd, he's a geek, but we all like to hear him speak. So listen up to the words from his speech. It's George's Book of the Week.
So with the proliferation and ease of publishing books, we've seen an influx of Disney-related titles, some good and some not so good. I hate to use the term bad, but anyway. So we've got a book, Un-Seen Disneyland by Russell Flores, and it's in its second edition. And actually, it's a great read for people that are interested in seeing and learning about all of those little details that make up Disneyland. The book is in full color, yay, with every photo taken by the author. And we're talking hundreds of photos.
All of the photos. Just give me all of the photos. Russell actually, he definitely is a photo-taking machine. So much so that actually, when I saw him over the weekend at Disneyana, he was already taking more photos for Volume 2 of the series. So the dude takes a lot of photos. He was taking pictures of me, too. It was really, really weird. I don't know what that was about.
Seen Unseen Heimbach.
That might be. I don't know. I don't know. But we're talking about this first volume of the book, and it's great. It's a neat little guide, and it kind of takes you on a tour of Disneyland, and it points out all the details that have always been there, but you may have never noticed before. And I think Russell explains in the introduction that it's the things that you see, but you never really see. That's how he explains it, and that's just how I imagine him actually saying it out loud when he explains it.
I can hear it now. Yeah, it's like a conundrum.
Yes.
So yeah, Russell, he does add a lot actually to the literature of Disneyland with this title, simply by the photos alone. But it's also interspersed with history, whether it's the history of the area or a snippet or two from an interview. It adds to the total package itself. So far, my biggest complaint would be that I'd like some of the pictures to be bigger or maybe a little bit brighter so that I could see more of the detail itself. Even if Russell doesn't update the title, which we know he is, he still created a fantastic snapshot of Disneyland from our modern time, from our current time.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we know this from the book, but also from talking to him, it's very obvious that Russell knows his stuff, and he has this very deep love and passion for the Disney theme parks, which is always great to see these people that are very passionate about it. And, in the book, he also does something that a lot of people that they don't do. He actually cites his sources, which is great to me. I mean, he's inviting us to investigate these things even further in case we're curious to know more about it, which I always think is a great idea. But, I feel like you just said, George, I mean, the photo's a little small, but that's just a limitation, I think, of the printing process itself. I think it would have driven the cost of the book up more, and I think it's a nice size and nice and affordable right now. So I don't mind how they are right now.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. It really is obvious that Russell did his homework, while he was researching the book. The index is pretty impressive, and he does back up all the information in the book, like Jeff said, with the citation. The title itself is divided by themes instead of land by land, which I kind of like that. It was a different approach. So Russell will cover all the garbage cans in one section, or here are some of the building details, or restroom signs.
Booyah!
Yeah, seriously, it's like Russell is our Communicore Weekly. He can't be our twin.
He'd have to be the triplet.
He's a step twin.
A step twin.
A step.
So we
twin.
adopted him later, but he.
Yes.
So okay, that works for me. That's fine.
He'll be our step twin.
He clearly
Awesome.
He knows us though, clearly. But I mean, I really think if you want like a quick, interesting read to bring into the park with you, it's a nice visual guide to spot stuff. And I think it's a great thing, even if Russell yells at me and tries to scare me from behind so he can get a Communicore Weekly cadet pin for me. I won't hold that against him, though.
And he apparently does accents as well as we do.
He does many accents that are just as bad as ours. Many accents.
Yes, but we still love him.
Of course. Of course.
All right, this week's book was Un-Seen Disneyland, What You See at Disneyland, But Never Really See, by Russell Flores.
So I recently met up with Keith Gluck at Disneyland, and we were also hanging out with our friends Benjamin and Mason, and Keith and I hadn't done a Dueling Disney in a while, so we decided to do an audio Dueling Disney, and we brought Benjamin and Mason in with us, and we teamed up with each other. So let's take a listen and see how that went. All right, recording, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Schrader.
And I'm Mason Schrader.
And you are listening to an audio of Dueling Disney. Okay, today's topic is Tomorrowland, and Jeff and I will be representing the Magic Kingdom.
And Keith and I will be representing Disneyland.
Unfortunately.
And I would just like to say, Carousel of Progress. Thank you
everybody for listening.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, Benjamin. I think Benjamin and I just won that round right off the bat.
All right, Mason. What do they have in our Tomorrowland? They got some stuff from Marvel, don't they?
Well, yeah, we got what used to be the Carousel of Progress. Basically, they turned it into Marvel.
A big dead spot that no one goes to.
hey, people like.
Okay.
We got a whole Marvel pavilion, basically.
Yeah, where's all your guys' Marvel stuff out in
Okay,
Florida?
but do you have Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe
we do
with
not.
the singing alien?
I gotta say, I do love Cosmic Rays. That's true. But we had Captain EO.
That's right. We did have Captain EO. Where's your guys' Captain EO Tomorrowland?
Well, we have one at Epcot, so I think we're covered there, Jeff.
Yeah, I think we're pretty okay with the Captain EO front.
Yeah, I mean, once you weigh it out, Carousel of Progress, Captain EO, there's really no comparison.
Can I throw out another trump card for us at the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah.
The Tomorrowland Transit Authority, the Wegway People Mover.
Yeah!
We got two right there, guys. I mean, need we go on?
What about a Space Mountain that doesn't almost eject you from the seats?
Wait!
I seriously think I almost went to the emergency room in Florida.
But, ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of full disclosure, we were discussing with Keith earlier today, and he actually said that he preferred the one stage mounted.
How could you do that to me?
Benjamin just schooled you with your own
Benjamin,
words.
man, he doesn't forget anything.
Man, I'm glad Benjamin's on my team.
Hey, but see, I got Mason though. So what else are we gonna hit him with, Mason? We have the Okay, I'll think of something.
Well, right now at least, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy preview.
That's true.
Do you guys have that?
Do you ever call me when you ever monsters in Glasgow?
And we have an Autopia, and it's way better than the Indy Speedway because the Indy Speedway makes you want to pass out from all the gas fuel.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That's fine. And I know I'm going to get flack for this one, but I do enjoy Stitch's Great Escape once every 5 years.
Oh, God.
What's that?
I'll use that one.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff, because that actually is a point for us that you guys.
we don't have
Stitch's Great Escape.
Okay, but did you ever have extraterrestrial alien encounter?
No, and
We
they
did.
couldn't.
We had Magic Journeys, though.
Oh.
I still think the extraterrestrial encounter is a point. We get that point back.
Yes.
I don't know, though. I don't know. It kind of scared small children.
No,
That's true.
But
Like
you
Keith?
know what they say? If Tomorrowland can't be done with excess, it shouldn't be done at all. That's
Man,
what,
I think this whole topic was
rigged.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rigged topic. Me and Mason got a bum rap on this one.
Sorry, you chose the wrong. You chose poorly.
He chose poorly.
We could also throw out there that our Astro Orbiter is way
don't
better
even-
and a way better location.
Don't
than
even
Harrison.
bring in Astro Orbiter, that unseen piece of trash. Just shouldn't even be in the discussion.
you add it first.
Amazing.
And I can't even talk. That one made me laugh so hard.
Basically picking the best adjectives to use to describe these attractions.
They're doing the audio Dueling Disney better than we are.
Exactly. I think we found our successors.
I think we had the idea first.
I think we did too.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Mason? Should we officially throw the towel in or what?
I gotta say, I think it's kind of a Kobayashi Maru. Yeah, we gotta admit defeat here.
All right, you guys win this round.
So we're gonna score one for the Magic Kingdom now. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah. Walt Disney World wins.
But see, Keith and Mason win for having the better adjective, so it's a wash.
Okay, grammar-wise, I'll give you that one.
Okay, but Benjamin and Jeff win for having the carousel of
That I will concede 7 days a week, sir.
Done and done.
Thank you very much for listening.
Sometimes you might see it, sometimes you don't. Hey, look, what's that? It's a five-legged goat.
I was recently wandering around Buena Vista Street when I was waiting for Benjamin and Mason and Keith and all them and the Benjamin and Mason's family for dinner, and I was stumbling around the shops, and I wandered into, not drunk, just for clarification.
I'm thinking sort of like a bull in a china shop.
Oh, that is me when I go into
You've
shops.
got
sometimes,
a
absolutely.
Heimbuck stumbling in a china
Yes,
shop.
exactly. So this time I stumbled into Atwater Ink and Paint shop, and it was the first time I was there in a while. Now, we discussed this shop before in a previous Five-Legged Goat, but this one really caught my eye because along the back wall there's this big bulletin board. So folks can post notices, obviously not real ones, but like ones the Imagineers put there. And there was one advertisement which featured a few hidden details on it. It advertised the Fiesta Buena Vista, a farmer's market and a street fair. Now, aside from the normal fair things, it said that on Saturday and Sunday would feature musical performances by Mariachis Tres Caballeros, and then Tres Hermanas de Silver Lake and Cuatro Cartel de Bamburinos, Aurora Miranda, Carmen Molina, and Dora Luz. Now, aside from my terrible pronunciation of all those Spanish words, again, so that middle section, it actually refers to the Silver Lake sisters, whose photos can be found at the Starbucks just up the street. I love the Silver Lake sisters. They're awesome. But the other acts, of course, refer to my favorite film of all time, The Three Caballeros, and the three lovely ladies I mentioned are all featured in the film. And it was kind of appropriate for the weekend since I gave that talk about the South of the Border trip, so it was kind of cool to accidentally see that for the first time ever.
So my question is, have you actually removed the costume?
The one I wore at Disneyana?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm only saying that because you can't see me right now.
I was just wondering if you showed up for work dressed up and like, oh, hi, it's Jeff.
It's still technically work appropriate, so it's fine. I was wearing nice pants, slacks, and a button-up shirt, and a bright yellow lady suit jacket, so it's totally appropriate for work. Totally appropriate.
As long as you took the tail feathers off.
No, they have to stay on. Come on.
They have to stay on. They're permanent.
I gotta be screen accurate. Come on.
And it's okay if my feathers are not screen accurate.
Yeah, that's fine. Keith didn't have screen accurate feathers. He didn't have any feathers, so.
Well,
I
go
win.
Figure. Go figure.
I win.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of us.
Yes, please leave us a comment and give us a rating on the good old iTunes.
You can always email us at communicoreweekly@gmail.com and tell us what you think about Jeff's outfit.
Yes, it was great. That's all you need to know. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com. Check out all the cool pictures we post during the week, because we post a lot now because we have the themed days, and I did post that picture from Disneyana of my costume. So, I mean, you're missing out if you're not following us there.
And follow both of us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Imaginerding and he's at Jeff Heimbuck.
And of course, give us a call on the Communicore Weekly Goat line at 424-785-4628.
And if you haven't yet found out how Jeff and George saved the world, download your copy of Communicore Weekly the Musical at CD Baby, iTunes, Amazon, and for free on Spotify.
And of course, buy some of our cool shirts on our web store, communicoreweekly.com. Seriously, that ghost whistle shirt is fantastic. I ordered one the day we put it up, and it should be home waiting for me right now. So I'm going to go home and put it on and just wear it all night long.
Yeah, I stumbled slightly because I was waiting for the ghost whistle, but you didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
That's okay.
I did it at the beginning of the show.
We did at the beginning of the show. We don't want to ruin it. We don't want to
fulfilled
ruin
my
it,
quota for the 2-week status, so we're good.
Well, for Jeff Heimbuck, I'm George Taylor.
And for George Taylor, I'm Jeff Heimbuck. Thanks so much for listening, guys and gals. We'll see you next time on Communicore Weekly, the greatest online show.